Alright, y'all. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna do a slow rundown of this video. I found some of the information to be quite interesting. Probably it's like an hour long, so I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but I'm gonna just skip around a little bit. If you want to look it up, it's on YouTube, and you can see it up here in the left-hand corner. And we're just gonna run through, and I'm gonna stop it here and there, probably do a little commentary or something. So let's get started.
Those are reasons why studying history is important, apart from being fun.
Please excuse any mispronunciation of names given herein. The story of the slaves in America begins with Christopher Columbus. His voyage to America was not financed by Queen Isabella, but by Louis de Santiago, who advanced the sum of 17,000 ducats, about 5,000 pounds today.
Speaking of Christopher Columbus, if you never read the Dum Diversa, and that's a papal bull done by the Roman Catholic Church in 1452, I say look that up, and you can Google that, research it, find it online. But it's the Dum Diversa by the, Pope Nicholas in 1452, and it goes into what sent Christopher Columbus here.
Equal to 50,000 pounds to finance the voyage, which began on August 3rd, 1492.
So what's happening during this time is that it's not so much the facade of religion to force people to convert, it was greed. It's because the crown, the King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella are going broke. They're exploring all over the place, wars all over the place. They need money,
yes.
All right? So who's got the money? Who are the financiers? Who are the ones that are so wealthy in Spain and later Portugal? Well, the Sephardim, the Jews.
Columbus was accompanied by 5 Moranos, Jews who had forsworn their religion and supposedly became Catholics.
Morano actually means black, dark skin. Like they kind of play with words, like a lot of words, what they called them back then. They changed up the definition, like ruddy. Right now they try to say ruddy means red or whatever, but in the ancient times, a century ago, ruddy would have meant dark reddish complexion. So now it's like they try to make ruddy sound like white Morano too. So if you just watch it, go into it.
Today, there are no real Moranos to be found within the borders of mainland Spain. Only on the Isle of Majorca can we find a small community of their descendants. These are not secret Jews, but devout Christians. Despite their observance of Catholicism over hundreds of years, they are still regarded by their neighbors as Jews. Genuine Moranos, secret Jews who light Sabbath candles, fast on the Day of Atonement, and eat unleavened bread on Passover, can be found today only in one place, in northeastern Portugal.
It says here, the Moranos, the Moorish Jews of Portugal, Spain, and Benin, Guinean Coast, Part 1.
So this is basically telling you that Morenos meant black because they compared them to the Moors. We all know that the Moors was black, basically black Arabians and black Israelites. That's what made up the Moors. But yeah, that's funny that he just said that because I'll just break it down Moreno.
It says here, Black Moorish Jews of Maghreb, Sudan, and Iberian Peninsula, the Moranos. Black Jews have lived in Iberia and Africa as far back as the time of the Carthaginians.
I take it the husband will want the same fate. It is the living God that we serve. Make that 3 less slaves in Carthage.
The Moors of Portugal were expelled by 1497 with the Edicts of Expulsion and the Leis de Limpieza de Sangue, the laws of cleanness of blood. The laws of cleanness of blood stated that all Moors and Jews had to flee the peninsula. All Moors and Jews, alright? Not separated together. And that any Gothic...
And this is basically saying that the Jews at this time was considered black because it's grouping Moors and Jews together. So what's the possibility of black back in this time, black Moors and white Jews fleeing an area? Not slim to none. So it's basically stating that the Jews was black. They was comparing them, and then like I said, they played with the wording and changed it up what it means because they had an identity and had an line about history. So there's change up. Ain't nothing to one edition of a dictionary it mean one thing, and then the older one mean another thing. So it's just common to them.
Cretan crusader who aspired to have a middle to high ranking office in the kingdoms had to prove that he had no Moorish or Jewish ancestry for at least 5 generations, until the 4th or 5th generation. The laws lasted until the end of the 18th century.
How many people really realize what happened within the Jewish community in Spain in 1492?
Well, this is a mystery that God has kept for a long time, because we've said that Christopher Columbus is from Italy. No, he's from Portugal. No, he's from Spain. Well, where is he really from? Well, they say that he was from Genoa, Italy, but his Italian writing is horrible, but his Castilian is perfect, So be it as it may, recently there is a growth, an exponential growth of discoveries that point to the fact that Christopher Columbus, first of all, his name is not Columbus. His real name is Salvador Zarco. All right, but now recently we've discovered that Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon, was known as a quote-unquote Marrano. Marrano? The Marranos are those that were forced to convert to Roman Catholicism, that were Sephardim, and then they were forced to eat pork, which is very
You see how he's just lying through his teeth talking about the Marranos, Jews that was forced to convert. Like, that's just, it's funny.
kosher, and then they were called Marrano, pigs, swine, because you see the facade of the Spanish Inquisition. What is Inquisition? It comes from the root word to inquire. But this was more than inquiring. This was spying and forcing Jews to convert to Roman Catholicism.
Louis de Torre in
See, you gotta make that up because they are not the Jews that they were speaking of then. This is the reason why self-educating and what y'all call climbing down the rabbit hole will open your eyes up to a lot, because he just lied through his teeth, because he's hiding who the real Jews was and trying to put their self into place.
interpreter, Marco the surgeon, Bamal the physician, Alonso de la Calle, and Gabriel Sanchez.
And I'm going to skip ahead because, like I said, I'm going to just go through it and try to cover as much ground in a short amount of time.
Concessions, receipts, and port clearances carried the signature name rum, whiskey, and liquor dealings. There were 22 distilleries in Newport, all of Louis de Torre. And in 1654, the first Jew, Jacob Bar Simpson, immigrated from Holland to New Amsterdam, or New York. And in the next decade, many more followed him, settling along the East Coast, principally in New Amsterdam and Newport, Rhode Island. They were prevented by ordinances issued by Governor Peter Stuyvesant from engaging in the domestic economy, so they quickly discovered that the territory inhabited by the Indians would be a fertile field. There were no laws preventing the Jews from trading with the Indians. The first Jew to begin trading with the Indians was Hyman Levy, who imported cheap glass beads, textiles, earrings, armbands, and other cheap adornments from Holland, which were traded for valuable fur pelts. Hyman Levy was soon joined by Jews Nicholas Lowe and Joseph Simon. Lowe conceived the idea of trading rum and whiskey to the Indians and set up a distillery in Newport, where these two liquors were produced.
So, this is where white people should be mad, because the grunt of slavery was put on y'all like y'all was the main players in it, and it basically, so you had a motherfucker that really funded it and was putting in the motion of all of this wicked shit, and then wrote themselves out of history. This is the reason why you have to start, and a lot of this shit you can research. If you, all you gotta do is pick up books and research, and you'll find a lot of this shit to be true. Because the one thing about it, you listen, you watch it, you let it spark your mind, and then even if you're trying to prove it, disprove it, you'll fuck around, stumble across that the shit is the truth. So that's where people get messed up. Instead of they hear something that might sound crazy or sideways to them, instead of actually taking the time and researching it and trying to disprove it, you might figure out that what you thought was to be true ain't true. So, like I said, it's funny how white people took the grunt of slavery and had to take that it was all their idea, but you see there was key players that wrote themselves. Because you own the media, the publishing, and everything, you can write history. Like they say, history goes to the victor.
A short time, there were 22 distilleries in Newport, all of them owned by Jews, manufacturing and distributing firewater. The story of the debauching of the Indians with its resultant massacres of the early settlers is a dramatic story in itself. It is essential to comprehend the seaport of Newport. It is important in order to recognize the Jewish share in the slave commerce. There was a period when it was commonly referred to as, quote, the Jewish Newport World Center of Slave Commerce, unquote. Altogether at this time, there were, in North America, 6 Jewish communities: Newport, Charleston, New York, Philadelphia, Richmond, and Savannah. There were also many other Jews scattered over the entire East Coast. Although New York held first place in the settlers of Jews in North America, Newport held second place. New York was also the main source of...
And on that, you have to note this is when they stole the identity of the true biblical Jews. So, like I said, Jewish doesn't mean me. It's just ish. Like if I say I'm blackish, you whitish, it's brownish. It's almost but not close to the real thing. So you have to see where, as you steal an identity, you have to hide and disperse the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to steal a motherfucker's identity, you almost have to not be in the same area, or you have to hide a motherfucking plain sight, or stay. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot more to this slave trade in America that people fail to realize.
Kosher meat, supplying the North American settlements, then the West Indies, and also South America. Now, Newport took over. Newport also became the great trade harbor of the east coast of North America. There, vessels from other ports met to exchange commodities. Newport, as previously mentioned, represented the foremost place in the commerce of rum, whiskey, and liquor dealings. And to include, it finally became the main center of slave dealings. It was from this port that the ships left on their way across the ocean to gather their black human cargo and then derive great sums of money in exchange for them. An authentic contemporary report based on authority indicates that of 128 slave ships, for instance, unloaded in Charleston within 1 year, their cargo, 120 of these were undersigned by Jews from Newport and Charleston.
So look at this. This is the name of ships, owners, and ethnicity of the owners. So, like I said, white people, y'all took the face of. They always talk about slave ships, but they never talk about who owned them. So if you never talk about that, because then that's gonna tell who was the key players. You know, you got you. What people fail to realize, these people funded the slave trade. They insured the slaves. There was every aspect, same as what goes on now. Every time you look up, motherfucker got their hand in a motherfucker's pocket. I orchestrate some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, who run Hollywood? Who run the banking system? So, like I said, there's been a lot of deceit, and some people, a group of people took a fall, had a stolen identity. Another group of people took the blame and the identity of the people that was solely responsible. Then other people just disappeared into the black and acted like they never was even involved. And to this day, a lot of people don't know this. And like I said, when I be talking shit, y'all think I be just rambling and shit, but I read and I do the research. So if you don't think this is true, you just research it yourself, and then you'll find out that a lot of this shit is true. But for the people I know, I'm just bringing it to your table so you'll see that what we think is ain't really what it is.
By their own name. About the rest of them, one can surmise, although they were entered as Boston, Norfolk, and Baltimore. Their real owners were similarly the Jewish slave dealers from Newport and Charleston. One is able to assess the Jewish share in the entire dealings of Newport. 2 women went overboard because they had not been locked. Rum cargo, or rum in exchange for slave practice for centuries.
Legally slaves. For more than a year, Adams fought for the
Documented with truth. The evidence is still available for the people of the world to see. The Carnegie Institute of Technology is located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As this movie and the document which I am narrating from is distributed, eventually reaching the hands of the Jews, the evidence will probably be removed and destroyed until finally all documentation is removed which is damaging to the Jew. The Jews have been engaged in this practice for centuries. Truth, however, truth which bears fact, cannot remain covered or hidden forever. And more truths are being disclosed by those of us who intend to free America. The published documentation contained herein was obtained from the Carnegie Institute of Learning, presently known as the Carnegie Institute of Technology. The following is a partial list of the slave ships owned by the Jews. The Abigail by Aaron Lopez, Moses Levy, and Jacob Franks. The Crown by Isaac Levy and Nathan Simpson. The Nassau by Moses Levy. 4 Sisters by Moses Levy. The Anne and Eliza by Justice Bosch and John Abrams. The Prudent Betty by Henry Kruger and Jacob Phoenix. The Hester by Mordecai and David Gomez. The Elizabeth by David and Mordecai Gomez. The Antique by Nathan Marston and Abram Lale. The Betsy by DeWolf. The Poi by James.
I mean, y'all get the gist. This is just a short little rundown and just planting some seeds out there so people stop watching TV and giving a damn about celebrities and get some of this knowledge and just open your mind up to do new things and read and picking up books and just stop with the watching sports shit that ain't telling you no truth or giving you no knowledge. So I just did this video because I stumbled across and I thought it to be interesting. And I mean, I know a lot of the information, but he has done, dude that's done this video did a nice little breakdown. It's only an hour long. The title is in the head where you see in the top left corner. Just look it up, man, and check it out and open up your mind. And like I said, if you disagree with it, do the research and prove it wrong. Prove that they lying, and then once you can prove that, we can talk about it. But till you can not disprove till you can disprove the facts, it ain't really nothing to talk about. So, like I said, the title's in the corner, the Jews and the slavery provoking thought. So, put it in YouTube, Google it, whatever. Google some of the information and get that knowledge and open up your mind and stop being dumbed down.